Hello Venti viewers, welcome back to another video on the channel. Boy, Sony has a ton of great apps for their photographers who own their cameras. So we are going over the Sony Imaging Edge app for the desktop today because we have a studio shoot coming up. So we're gonna break this video into two parts. We're gonna have the video going over all of this for the desktop, and then we're gonna put it into the studio and show you how it actually works in a studio. Now, we've already done a video reviewing the mobile version of this app, which I'll link to somewhere here on one of the sides, so that way you can watch that, because the mobile version of this app is amazing as well. So the first thing you need to do is turn on the camera, plug it in with the USB-C cable. We're gonna turn it on. This is a Sony a7 IV that we're shooting with here. Now, it's gonna ask you if you want to remote shoot or PC remote. That's the option we're gonna choose. So now we can see on our camera here, we're live, we're good to go. Then we're gonna go on to our computer here and we're gonna open up Viewer, and we're also gonna open up Remote. So this has two separate apps. We have the Viewer if we want to view the photos we've taken, and we have Remote, which will allow us to control the camera and see the photos that we're taking in live action. So we're gonna choose our camera here, we're gonna double click on it. It's gonna say waiting response, and then it should open up here. All right, so we have Remote here and we have Viewer here. So two separate apps, which is a little bit of a bummer. I would like to just maybe see these apps merged into one, but it's fine, it's free. It's a free app, great alternative to Capture One, which costs money. So we're gonna go full screen on this, keep this here, and then we're gonna go full screen on Remote and keep this here. So the first thing that we can see here is our focusing area, and we can actually change this and move this around with our mouse. So there is literally no excuse not to get your model's eyes in focus, because you can move the focus area around, and there's another cool feature in Viewer that I will show you in a moment as well. The second feature is we can add a grid overlay. It's kind of dark here. Let me brighten this up a bit. I'm undecided if I'm gonna use this in a studio shoot. I do use it when I'm just using the camera, so we'll see if I actually use that or not. The third thing is we have all of our camera settings over here on the side. So we can switch between video and camera, we can switch our autofocusing, we can even add an interval shooting to the camera if we want to. We have our camera settings, which on the Sony a7 IV, the maximum sync speed to flash is 1/125th of a second. And then we have our aperture controls, ISOs. So we'll bring the ISO down to 100 because that's all we need for shooting in a studio. We have our RAW settings, all of our different drive modes, flash, aspect ratio, all that. Now, if we click on camera settings, this brings up this second option here. So still image save destination. So what this is asking is, if you take a picture, do you want it to save to the camera or to your computer or to both? So if you forget an SD card, when you're going to a shoot, you have the option here to save it only to your computer, and that way you can still take images and not have any problems. So for me, I always like to keep it PC only, and we're gonna close that. So we have our histogram here, and then we also have our save settings. So this will ask you, if you click these little dots over here on the right, it will ask you where you want to save it. Now I have a folder called Needs Edited and Organized, and when I have my model here, I'll add a folder with their name on it, so that way the images save right to there. And then you can also change the file name. I switched mine to manual, and I start it at number 1. The benefit of that is if you're sending these raw files to your model and they want to pick the best ones that they like, it's a lot easier to have 1, 2, 3, 4 rather than DSC 0068, DSC 0069. It's just a lot easier from a file standpoint, so I would highly recommend using that feature. All right, so now we'll move over to the Viewer app here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and snap a picture real quick. So here we go, we have our image of our VentiView Studio sign here. So if we look at the top of the Viewer, we actually have a focusing or actual pixels button, which allows us to zoom in really, really close into the image, and I can see if something is in focus or not. and then we can hit this button right to the left of it, and that'll bring it back to our normal size here. And a really cool feature that I'm excited for is what's called the focus frame display. And if you click that, that's gonna tell you what part of the image was in focus. So in this case, it was VentiView Studio. In a case of a model, hopefully it would be that their eyes were in focus, so that way no photo is ever out of focus in a studio shoot ever again. And then if we want to, we can also bring up our histogram here so we can see maybe if skin tones look right and overall, you know, just kind of read what the image looks like based on the histogram. So that's the first part of this video. We're now gonna jump into the studio and see this in action. We're gonna do a couple different lighting setups so that you guys can kind of see a couple different images and how I do a studio shoot with this app and this camera. So let's get into the studio. Okay, so we are finally in the studio. I have my model behind me. His name is Ryan Barker. I'll put his link in the description below. So I have the laptop here with the viewer and the remote app. We're gonna do a studio shoot. The first thing that I have is I have two really big 6-foot umbrellas. We're gonna start with really big, bright photo shoot, and then we'll kind of get more and more dramatic and a little bit more traditional headshots. But let's go ahead and get started, and you guys are gonna see how this app is in live action. I've got it recording here on the MacBook Pro screen. We can see our model here. Let me just get the focus. There we go. And let's see what we can do. That's a mug shot right there.
Dude, need some makeup.
Okay, so let's have you start with the jacket on. Yep. God, you always like to blink right when I'm ready to shoot. Okay.
All right, go guys.
Here we go. Ready? In 3. Yeah, hands in the pocket. There we go. 3, 2, 1. And then don't give me so rough tough. Give me a little gentler face. Yeah. There you go. Nice. Yep, good. And then look at me like while you're buttoning up. Yeah, nice. Okay. Maybe give me like a smile every now and then too. Like that's good. You know, you're an actor. You want to smile a little bit. Unbutton it. Yeah. Ooh, look at that one. That's a good one. I like that. Just looking over there. Nice. Maybe kind of rub your hands together out in front of you. Like, yeah. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Nice. Look at me. Very good. Yeah, okay. And as you can see on the app, as I move it around on the camera, I can see where the focusing is. And my model likes to blink at the exact same time I hit the camera button. Yeah, keep going.
Need that shoot commercial.
I know. This is actually his camera. I bought it off of him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, this is nice. These are good. I like these. Yeah. A little bit untraditional of like headshots, but I feel like you could still use these for your branding.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to get the white backdrop almost completely dark, so I have a negative filler here with me that I'm going to try and use to bring out some of the black. Yeah, that's getting it a little bit darker. I can also edit it in post, but put both hands in let's have them on the belt thing, the belt loops. Yeah, there we go. Relax. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's nice. Let's have you turn your head this way a little bit, right there. Cool. You can go ahead and look that way because I can't really see your eyes in this shot anyways. It looks a little hot on his skin. Right here, it's a little bright. So I think what we're gonna do is just adjust our aperture on the camera. We're gonna go from f8 to f9, just one stop. Let's see how that looks. Do another shot. Yeah, that's looking better. That's looking a little bit better on his skin here. Yeah, so now we don't have so many hot sections on his skin. We can still kind of see his eye. So I want to try and get this eye a little bit more lit up. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Let's do this. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so now we're starting to get his eye. Everything else looks pretty good. I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna throw a little bit more fog in there. So let's go ahead and do that now. Yeah, that's nice. We have really dramatic lighting going on there. 3, 2, 1. All right, so that is the Sony Viewer and Remote app on the laptop. I really like it. I think I'm gonna use that instead of buying Capture One. It hits all the check boxes for me. I just need to be able to see that the photos are in focus and review the photos, and also have manual control over my camera if I need to kind of step away and add a fill light as well. So hopefully you guys like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.